from the Capital Center for the Arts, as she always does during this segment, is Lynne Sabean. Lynne, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for accommodating us on a Wednesday, those Red Sox schedules.
That's right. Yeah, Red Sox are playing tomorrow. Normally we do this on a Thursday, but we never know what time the Red Sox are going to wind up. So instead, we move it to today. So thank you for adjusting your schedule. I know you have a new member of your household, so I know it was not easy to get away today.
Not a lot of sleep.
With a new puppy. But at any rate, I know you have a busy schedule coming up at the Capital Center for the Arts, and we're going to be joined in a short time by comedian Juston McKinney. And Justin is going to be at the Capital Center for the Arts on Saturday, May 6th at 8 p.m. And according to the brochure I have in front of me from the Capital Center for the Arts, he really gets New Hampshire humor.
He's one of us.
That's right. And I understand he was a deputy sheriff at one time and has been on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno and also on with Conan O'Brien, and has done specials on his own on Comedy Central. And I know he's very popular at the Capital Center for the Arts and throughout New Hampshire.
He is. This is a repeat performance. Tickets always sell very well for the show, and this time will be no exception. This show is actually the capstone of Capital Arts Fest, which is going to be going on all day long downtown Concord. More than 20 area organizations are going to be opening up their doors and having special activities going on. We're celebrating not only the end of the construction downtown, but also just the cultural diversity that is Concord.
Well, that is great. And what a way to cap it off, too, with the 8 o'clock performance by Juston McKinney. And as Lynn said, tickets are going rapidly. But you can purchase them right now, ccanh.com, or call the box office at 225-1111, or simply stop by the box office and pick them up before it is too late, because that may be very shortly. But I know in addition to Juston McKinney, a lot of other things taking place as well.
Yes, tomorrow night we're having Ozo Motley and Squirrel Nut Zippers. Your listeners may remember that we spoke, or at least tried to speak, with Uli.
We did our best.
From Ozo Motley last time. Wasn't the best connection. Hopefully it'll be going better with, hopefully Justin has a better cell phone carrier than Uli did. And that's going to be a fabulous show. They're coming together for a United Together tour. They're... Ozo Motley, as Uli said last time, does everything from hip-hop to reinterpretations of Latin classics. It's going to be quite a diverse show.
Well, the music sounded great when we heard it on the program a couple of weeks ago, and looking forward to that. And that is tomorrow night, and tickets remain.
Tickets remain.
All right, so scoop them up and enjoy a great show tomorrow night at the Capital Center for the Arts in downtown Concord. So, what else is on the agenda on the way at the Capital Center for the Arts?
Well, this coming Saturday, we have Metropolitan Opera performance. Some of the performances that we have, these are HD broadcasts. We're not actually having the Metropolitan Opera come up to Concord. They broadcast live from the Med in New York City. Sometimes we're able to broadcast them live. Other times we have something previously scheduled, and so we do it a few days after that. But this Saturday, it's going to be live starting at 12:55. Save the jet lag, save the drive to New York, come on down to the Capital Center. It's a really fascinating way to spend the afternoon.
You know, absolutely. And to my regret, I have never seen one of the performances live, and it's something I've wanted to do it, and it never seems to have fit into my schedule, and unfortunately this Saturday won't either. But I imagine it's almost like being there.
It is, and because it's a broadcast and because there are these video cameras, they go in very close. You can see the facial expressions of the singers. They very often have a lot of exclusive behind-the-scenes interviews that you would not see if you were actually there.
So it's actually better than being at the Met. Right?
I took my mother to a show last fall, and it was our first time there, and I figured, okay, well, this will be 2 or 3 hours or so. This thing went on for 5 hours. This is like the best $22 to $26 that you're ever going to spend.
Wow. That sounds great. And that is Saturday, 12:55. Don't be late. Mm-hmm. And can people just walk up and pay at the box office?
Just as if you were going to a movie theater.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. And what opera is it?
Eugene Onegin.
All right. Not that it would really make much difference, whatever you told me, but but I imagine it is a tremendous 4 or 5 hour experience.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
But at any rate, I do want to do that sometime just to see how it's done. Mm-hmm. And I often think that it'd be great if they could do some Broadway shows that way too, which I think they have.
For 5 hours?
Well, not for 5 hours, but 2.5, 3 hours maybe.
Yeah.
Do it that way as well to expose more people. I mean, how many people are ever going to get to the Metropolitan Opera House in New York? Very few, really, in the overall scheme of things.
We have a lot of our patrons that when we have the live broadcast, they'll come see us. But if it's something that is not being broadcast live, a lot of them do drive down to New York City and see it live.
No, I know, but overall, I mean, to expose more people to it. I mean, very few percentage-wise ever see something at the Met or something on Broadway, for that matter. And I think it's a great way to do it, and you can experience it live this Saturday, live at 12:55 from the Capitol Center for the Arts, and it transforms for those 5 hours into the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. So you'll think you're there. It's even better. I bet one thing. Do you sell refreshments at this?
Oh, we sure do.
My guess is, Lynn, they're a lot cheaper than they are at the Met.
Most likely.
So there's another thing going for the Capitol Center for the Arts. What else on the agenda?
On April 28th, we have Home Free. They are a country a cappella band. This show has been selling like gangbusters. I'm not even sure how many tickets we have left at this point. There are that few. So this is something that if it interests you, definitely contact the box office as quickly as possible and snag one of the few remaining seats to that show.
All right. And that is again?
That is on Friday, April 28th.
Very good. So you have a little time to plan for that one. But that's the 28th of April, and it sounds great. And you'll check it out. And tickets, I'm sure, going very well for that one.
They're almost gone.
Almost all scooped up. So act quickly if you want to see Home Free Friday, April 28th, 8 p.m. at the Capitol Center for the Arts in downtown Concord, New Hampshire. As we await Juston McKinney, I guess Justin is on. He's ready. And Justin, Ken and Lynne here. Great to have you along with us.
Thank you, Ken and Lynne, for having me. Do I sound okay? Do you want me to take you off speaker? Does it sound okay?
Yeah, maybe if you could, that would be great, yeah.
All right, how's that? Is that better?
That's better. That's much better.
All right. I want to do what is best for everybody.
Well, I know you've been on the Tonight Show and with Conan O'Brien on Comedy Central, Blue Collar Comedy Next Generation, but now you've finally made it to Cail and Company, so I know this has to be one of the highlights of your career.
I've been trying to get here for 5-10 years at least.
I know. And
this is on my bucket list.
I'm sure it was. And I'm glad you could finally realize that dream.
And I got to be honest, I almost didn't make it. I got something going on with me. I had the flu a couple weeks ago, and then it's kind of like come back. So these last 3 days, I've had this fever. I'm actually on my way to get chest X-rays and blood work done right when I hang up. So I hope I will make it for the Cap Center show.
Well, I have a feeling you will. You must have been hanging around the Red Sox locker room to have the flu.
Well, it's funny. It's between that. I think it's probably more my kids because my kid had the flu. But I'm not even lying. I just checked my temperature. It's 100.2 in one ear and 100.9 in the other ear. So I don't know what that means. Do I take them? What's your call, Lutters?
Well, we're at 107.7. I'm glad it's not 107.7.
Yes, that I do not want.
No, I don't think so.
No offense, but that's a little too high.
Yeah.
But no, it's it's funny. And when I had the flu, I go in there and I said I didn't throw up. And they go, oh, flu isn't throwing up. That would be a stomach bug. The flu is like respiratory, and it feels, aches and pains. It feels like you've been hit by a truck. And I love that analogy, being hit by a truck. It's like, so if I'm ever at the hospital visiting a friend that's been hit by a truck, I'm going to say, look, I know what you're going through. I had the flu.
Well, it says, Juston McKinney, you're a guy that really gets New Hampshire humor.
Well, look, I don't know who said that, but
that would be me.
That would be you?
That would be Lynne. Lynne Sabean.
Well, thank you, Lynne. I like it. Yeah, well, it's funny. I do live in New Hampshire, so that helps. So I do a lot of stuff about New Hampshire. I mean, the thing I did about the Clark's Trading Post and the Wolfman that's online, I think got like over almost 7,000 shares from people. So,
wow.
That kind of stuff, doing tourist attractions and local stuff, and because I do live here, it does make me, I think, have a little bit of a finger on the pulse.
Wow.
Like
We love that. We love
you
that.
Like that plug?
I hope we're recording that. Yeah, we're going to use that in the future,
yeah.
Justin.
But anyway, I really enjoy it. And there's always stuff going on in New Hampshire that I talk about. And every time, this is my 5th or 6th time at the Cap Center, and I come back like every spring, and I always make sure my show is 90% different stuff that you haven't heard. So all year I try to take stuff that's going on and whatever. There's always some big New Hampshire stuff, and there's always some big, things going on or things I've done this year in New Hampshire. So this is just one of my favorite venues of all is the Capitol Center. So I'm really looking forward to it.
We were talking a little bit earlier, and you do a webcast for 2 hours a day?
Are you talking about the thing I just started, about a month ago?
That thing you just started, yeah.
It's a podcast.
Oh.
That I do not web it, thank God. You would not want to look at me for 2 hours a day. It's worse than 2 hours a day. It's 3 hours a day.
Oh.
That's probably why I'm sick, Lynn. This is grueling.
Yeah, how do you come up with fresh material for 3 hours a day, every day?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not like a comedy show, right? Like, I got in today, and there were things, it'll even be serious where I'm not making jokes about stuff. If I touched on the Aaron Hernandez thing or, whatever's going on in the news, the world stuff, the local stuff. But I do try to find the lighter things, like third-hand smoke, is dangerous now. So I was talking about that today. So it's more or less just taking the news, and it's very New England-centric, really New Hampshire-ish. And if anything's going on, just kind of talking about it. But I've got guests, and I've got people can call in. But to answer your question, it is not easy to do. But I find that I'm able to generate material for my live stand-up act because I'll say something I'll get kind of a response, or I can tell whether someone's on the phone and I say something, or who is ever in the studio with me. And then I find out, oh, that's good. Let me go to an open mic night, or let me try that. And then I'm like, oh, now I've got, I think I did last night 10 new minutes, which I'll do at the Cap Center, 10 minutes that I worked out last night. So it's just this constant process. And then my mind is always up to date. Like, whatever happens the week of my Cap Center show, I'll have stuff about, in my act. And it's just, I just keep observing and writing and observing and writing and hope it all comes together.
So you keep it fresh. That's good. That's a good thing. Juston McKinney with us, and he'll be at the Capitol Center for the Arts May 6th, Saturday, May 6th at 8 p.m. Lynne tells me that tickets are going very quickly, Justin. You're a popular guy around here.
Yeah, it was nearly sold out last year, and so it's a full house. So I really couldn't do it without the support of all the New Hampshire fans, which are just great. And that's why I work so hard, by the way. It's like, because I know that if you saw me a year ago, I come back another year and do the same show I did a year earlier, you're not going to come back and see me a third time, because it's like, all right, I saw it twice. How many times can I see that, So that's part of what goes with the turning stuff over. So I've been very fortunate. So, I'm hoping people come out. Tickets are going fast. I know it's already 3/4 full or something like that. So it's getting up there, and I appreciate everything you guys have done, too, to help get the word out.
So what is third-hand smoke?
Third-hand smoke is basically the residue from cigarettes that sticks on stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, your coats, your furniture. If you're a smoker, it's not necessarily, when you see the smoke in the air, you breathe that in. Well, that makes sense. Well, now they did this test where kids who in families where they smoke, even though they don't smoke in front of the kids, they had nicotine on their hands. Nicotine gets in through their skin, so it's third hand. So pretty much anything can pretty much kill you nowadays, and that got us on to how 150 people a year die from falling coconuts. So we found that out today in researching the third-hand smoke. We got on to people dying. 150 people die from coconuts.
I had no idea. See, I learn something on this show every day.
My thought was, but are there any signs to warn people? Because alligators, only a handful die from alligators every year. There's signs everywhere about watch for alligators. Because if I went to Hawaii and I get killed by a coconut, not a good way to go.
No, it's not. No, you never think about that, do you?
No, but
now
that's
I
what
will.
third-hand smoke is. And I was busting the chops with some people I know that actually do it, so I was joking. Because all of my physical stuff, I was also joking about, maybe I got that too. It's one more thing. But I don't know what I got. I could have Lyme disease, I could have mono, or I could have something more. But this has been lingering. I lost 15 pounds in the last 6 months.
Wow.
And I don't know if you've seen me. I weigh 159, so now I'm 140, 145.
I think I was born 145.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I did go gluten-free 6 months ago, which I think it could be that, but I don't know. There's so much stuff out there now, so, I'm praying for the best because I can't let the people down at the Cap Center.
And I don't think you will. I have a feeling you'll recover in time, Justin. We hope you do anyway. Now, from doing our extensive background research on your life, Justin, like we do before any guest comes on, you haven't always been a stand-up comic, from what I understand.
No, at one point I was a child and a student and a policeman.
A policeman?
I was a deputy sheriff in York County, Maine, so I patrolled 14 towns, the ones along the New Hampshire border and the southern part of the state. Like, I don't know if you're familiar at all with Lebanon or Acton or Parsonsfield or Cornish.
Of course.
So you know that area? That's all like right there, like right across from Wakefield, New Hampshire. It's right there. So I did that for 7 years. And
so a deputy sheriff.
Something that, I did a whole show. I think I did it at the Cap Center 1 year where I did my Deer, Moose, Ticks, and Hicks show, which was real stories of the rural patrol, and it was all stories about having been a cop and all that stuff, and living on the border and everybody crossing into Maine from New Hampshire with no seatbelt, and they got fireworks, and they just made, they got liquor, you know what I mean? It was just, and that's how a lot of my material, the Live Free or Die chunk that I do that's online. I don't know if you've seen that at all, about living on the border of Maine and New Hampshire and the liquor stores and the highway. That's like 12 years old now online, but 20 years old, the joke. So that's where all that kind of came from, was my time as a deputy sheriff.
So you're like a latter-day Barney Fife then, right?
I don't know if I was as reliable as Barney Fife.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I definitely didn't act like that, but I was afraid of a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It was like, that's a lot of the stuff I talked about. I mean, it was, in the wintertime, like I was the only cop with mittens. You know what I mean? Like I didn't like the cold. I wore mittens, It was like, if there was a shootout, I'm like, you got me. I can't get the mittens off, especially with them clipped to my coat. It's like it was a little bit of that.
Did your gun have a bullet in it, or did you carry it in your shirt pocket?
Well, it's funny you say that. My gun, it had 6 bullets in it, but I couldn't buy them. I became a cop at 19 years old, so I wasn't old enough to buy bullets.
But you had a gun with 6 in it.
Oh, yeah. And I had to have someone else buy the bullets for me, and I wasn't old enough to transport alcohol, so I would pull someone over. I'm like, look, you're not old enough to have this alcohol. I'm like, neither am I. We got to wait for my sergeant. And that would take an hour and a half in the woods in Maine. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
It was pretty crazy, and it was, and I'm colorblind, by the way. I'm red and I don't know why they hired me. I think there was slim pickings back then, because I'm red and green colorblind, which are 2 of the 3 colors on a traffic light.
That would be true. Yes. Yeah.
I would pull people over. I'm like, why I pulled you over? I'm like, you went right through that top light. So So it was. This is a little safer job for me. Let's just say that.
Now, how do you know if you're colorblind?
Well, when I first knew, it wasn't until I was in school, and they show you those you know all the circles with all the little dots in it with all the colors, and you got to pick the number out of the circle?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see the number. So everyone in class would say, oh, it's a 7, it's a 7. I'm like, I don't see anything. They're like, you can't see that? So that's the first time I knew, but literally to this day, I mean, like the green traffic light looks white to me. Doesn't look green to me. So I just always related to it is the bottom light, and it's the green one. I obviously know, but it's white. Like street lights, it looks like a street light to me. The green light looks like a street light. So it's all shades, reds and greens, but even purples and blues, like all that stuff is a little off. I hear they have something that you can do to fix that, but.
So where did you get your big break for your stand-up routine? How did that come about?
It's funny you ask. I'm still waiting for that. I would say my big break, if I wanted to say I had a break, I had development deals, network sitcom development deals with CBS and Warner Brothers back in 1998 and 1999. It's just saying how long I've been doing this. That was for my own show, my own television show, and I've had other development deals with Comedy Central, with IFC. You know, I did a show about a volunteer fire department in the fictitious town of Effing Woods, New Hampshire, and basically I just took Effingham and I made it Effing Wood, right?
Yes.
So that was a volunteer fire department, and Lenny Clarke was in that, and Dennis Leary saw it, so I produced that with him. So I've had a bunch of those things throughout my career that just haven't stuck, right? They haven't stayed on. They didn't get picked up for whatever reason. It's very political. But I would say my breaks, like the Tonight Show, I did the first Tonight Show in 2002. So, I mean, that was like, from a stand-up point, that was my one goal, was to try to get on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, because that's what my dad always watched. So I did that, and then I did it again in 2004, and then but my half-hour special on Comedy Central was in 2007, and then my one-hour special was 2010. And then so I've had these things happen, but at the end of the day, I don't know that I've had that big break yet where, you know what I mean, I'm living in New Hampshire, I got my family, I do all these theaters in New Hampshire and Maine and go down to the Mass so I can be local, but I'm still swinging the bat on that, you know, on that television, you know, for that television show and that next big thing, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So what was it like working with Lenny Clarke?
Lenny was great. It was funny. He had gotten out of surgery, and I didn't know that. He had just had his stomach surgery, I guess, and he was all on meds that they had put him on, and he didn't even remember filming it with me. And Dennis Leary told him, he goes, Lenny, that's how he found out about me. He goes, Lenny, I saw you in that fire department show. He's like, that's the best acting you've ever done. And he goes, really? He goes, I was on medication that whole time. I don't even remember being there.
Wow.
So,
I know Lenny's lost a lot of weight
guy. I love
recently.
Lenny Clarke.
Yeah, I know he's lost a lot of weight recently.
We end up on a lot of benefits together.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him recently. It looks like a bodybuilder now.
Oh, you must be on his Facebook when he's like posting his abs and stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I hate to say it, he's doing better than I am. I'm only 46 right now, and I got, you know, like I said, who knows how much longer I got left. I hope this isn't my last interview. No offense.
Well, listen, I hope it isn't mine either. So I guess the feeling is mutual.
Well, don't go and walk under any coconut trees.
There you go. I don't want to be one of the 150.
No, exactly.
I really don't. So what else do you have coming up in other than the big show on May 6th at the Capitol Center for the Arts in Concord? Where can we see you on TV anywhere in the near future?
You know, it's funny because I like I said, I started that podcast and I've been putting time into that the last month or two, and I've got nothing scheduled right now, but a lot of my stuff's out there and available through Netflix or Amazon and stuff like that. Some of my CDs and stuff, but basically it's just touring live. You know, I'll do the Cap Center, I'll do the Palace, Keene, the Colonial, and the Portsmouth Music Hall I do every year. I do this year-end show, which the Portsmouth Music Hall is a year in review. I actually did slides with it. I posted a little bit of political stuff online that people seem to dig, and that's something I'm going to do now at the end of the year, every year, that year-end. It kind of goes in review with multimedia, you know what I mean? So that's something fun that I've been doing. But I basically, because of my kids, I got a first grader and a third grader, you know, making that commitment to go to New York and you know, do the racket down there, it's really time-consuming, and so I've just been kind of just doing my thing up here.
Well, that is outstanding. It's great to do your thing in New Hampshire.
It really is. I mean, it really, and I hate flying. I'm not going to talk about the doctor that got pulled off the plane, but it's crazy because it's really brutal to fly. Although I will talk about it at my show at the Cap Center because I do topical stuff. Like there'll be 10, 15 minutes of world event stuff going on, and then there'll be, so I mix it all up. But yeah, I just don't like flying anymore.
Can't say that I blame you.
No, do you ever have to fly?
I do. I do have to fly for work once in a while. I was on an airline by the name of Porter Airlines recently, flying to Toronto. Now,
I never even heard of it.
No, I hadn't either until I actually flew them. And it wasn't too, they actually serve, now this is a Canadian airline, they actually serve free beer and wine on the flight. How about that? Oh, my
gosh. Well, that's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Was it more spacious than a U.S. carrier?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, I would not say more spacious.
No,
but
it was one of the little ones. But they're like, here, was it a turboprop or jet?
It was.
Oh, I hate the turboprop.
It actually was, and I couldn't hear for a couple of days. Although people have said that I can't hear anyway, so it didn't really make much difference.
Well, you know what? We're not getting any younger. We're falling apart.
That's true. Juston McKinney with us, Lynne. Lynne, I guess Lynne is all set with her line of questioning, Juston.
I guess Lynne walked out of it. She wanted no piece of this. I must have said something wrong.
No, you're doing great. But we're looking forward to the show on May 6th, 8 o'clock, Capitol Center for the Arts. And get those tickets soon because unless you do, they will be all gone.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today, and I'm looking forward to feeling really good.
I hope so. I hope you feel better. And you'll be able to be there on May 6th because it wouldn't be the same without you.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thanks.
All right, Juston. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Take care. You as well. Thanks for being with us. Juston McKinney, funny guy. And you can hear more of Juston May 6th. And I'm sure he's on YouTube as well. You can probably Google him and or you go on YouTube and search for him.
Yeah, that Clark's Trading Post.
And that's on YouTube,
That is on YouTube. And while the Patriots were on their way to the Super Bowl this past year, he had a number of different spots for them as well.
Outstanding. Well, he's a funny guy, and unfortunately, I guess... no, I thought there was going to be a punchline there when he said he wasn't feeling well. I really did, but apparently it's true.
Well, I was just waiting for him to say if he got down to 107.7 pounds, he could be like, he could be the poster child for your station. Yeah.
I don't think you'd have to worry about that if his temperature got to 107.7. Then he'd really have something to worry about. And it's probably his weight, too, if he got down to 107.7. But, Lynne, before we go and wrap it up, anything else you want to remind us of?
Well, we do have a pair of tickets for Juston McKinney
to
give away today.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that. But how about that? We have a pair of tickets to see Juston McKinney. They're going quickly. And you can hear all about the fictitious town of Effing Woods, New Hampshire. And that apparently caught the eye of Dennis Leary and helped him to get to where he is today, in part anyway. So, funny guy, Juston McKinney, and we'll take caller number 3. How about that? Caller 3 right now, 1-866-823-1077 is the number for a pair of tickets to see New Hampshire's own one-time deputy sheriff in the state of Maine, Juston McKinney. Caller 3 right now, 1-866-823-1077 is our number, and you can check out ccanh.com for all the great information about the shows at the Capitol Center for the Arts in downtown Concord, or call 225-1111 to order tickets, or just stop by the box office and say, I would like to go to a show. And I'm sure that they can accommodate you. Lynne, thank you so much. And we look forward to your next appearance on Cail and Company.
Yeah, we'll be coming back. I believe it's going to be on May 4th, back to Thursdays.
Yes.
And we'll have a few people in. We're going to be talking about the event that I mentioned at the top of the show, which is Capital Arts Fest, that day-long celebration of cultural diversity downtown. We hope that people really get a chance to explore all the different organizations and realize that while this is a one-day event, that there is ongoing performing arts and cultural activities going on all the time in Concord.
Well, it would appear, Lynne, that Mr. McKinney made a great impression on our audience. Because the phones are ringing off the hook here. So apparently people want to see Juston McKinney. And free of charge, too.
That's what we like to hear. And if you're not the lucky winner today, please contact the Capitol Center box office and we'll get you some tickets. They're at a very affordable $27.50 per seat.
There you go. You said cheap at twice the price.
You bet.
You'll get a lot of laughs without question.